There are hundreds of YouTube videos promising shocking revelations about Bishop Noel Jones. Today, we are going to do something none of them will do. We are going to tell you the actual truth, and the truth is far more powerful than any scandal. You have seen the headlines. Bishop Noel Jones's wife finally breaks her silence. First Lady Loretta confirms what we all feared. Because the name means something to you. Because Bishop Noel Jones has been one of the most powerful voices in the Black church for decades. Because you wanted to know, is it true? Here is what nobody making those videos will tell you. There is no shocking revelation. There is no confirmed scandal. There is no silence that has been broken. What there is one of the most remarkable love stories in the history of the Black church. A story of patience, of faith, of a 28-year journey that ended exactly where God intended it to end, at an altar. With a ring, with a First Lady. And today, we are going to tell you this. Before we get into the real story of Bishop Noel Jones and First Lady Loretta, we need to talk about something that is happening across YouTube and social media right now. Because it is not just affecting Bishop Jones, it is affecting pastors, ministers, gospel artists, and faith leaders across the country. And it is doing real damage. The clickbait machine, here is how it works. Someone takes the name of a well-known pastor or bishop, someone with a loyal and passionate audience. They pair it with a phrase designed to trigger maximum anxiety. Finally confirms what we all feared. Shocking revelation. Breaks her silence. They put it on a thumbnail with a dramatic expression. They upload it to YouTube. They collect the views. And inside the video, old footage, recycled sermons, third-party commentary, speculation dressed up as revelation, drama manufactured from nothing. Bishop Noel Jones has been one of the most frequent targets of this kind of content, and here is why. He is a 76-year-old man with a massive following. He had a 28-year relationship before marrying Loretta in June 2022. He appeared on Preachers of LA, bringing his personal life into the public eye in ways that created years of speculation, and he leads one of the most prominent ministries in Los Angeles. Every single one of those facts is real clickbait fuel, but none of them, not a single one, adds up to the scandal the internet keeps promising you. So let us put the clickbait down and pick up the truth. Bishop Noel Jones was born on January 31st, 1950 in Spanish Town, Jamaica. He grew up in a family steeped in faith and ministry. His sister is the legendary gospel artist Grace Jones, and from an early age it was clear that he was called to preach. He made his way to the United States and built a ministry that would eventually become one of the most recognized in the country. The City of Refuge, now known as City of Refuge LA or Corla in Gardena, California, a church that has grown under his leadership into a spiritual home for thousands of people across Los Angeles and beyond. His preaching style is unlike almost anyone else in the pulpit, intellectual, poetic, deeply theological, and yet completely accessible. He has the rare gift of making the most complex spiritual concepts feel personal, feel urgent, feel like they were spoken directly to you and nobody else. He has preached at some of the most prestigious venues in America. He has mentored other ministers. He has built a legacy that extends far beyond any one sermon or any one season of a reality television. Bishop Noel Jones is, by any honest measure, one of the great preachers of his generation. For almost 3 decades, he was also a man who was waiting. Here is the story the clickbait videos will never tell you, because it is not dramatic enough for a thumbnail, because it does not fit inside a headline designed to make you afraid, because it requires patience, and patience does not get clicks. Bishop Noel Jones divorced his first wife, Ruth Jones, in 1992, and for the next 28 years, he waited. 28 years in an industry, and yes, ministry is an industry, where remarrying quickly is common, where appearances matter, and optics are managed, and the pressure to present a complete picture of success is enormous. Bishop Noel Jones waited. During those 28 years, he met Loretta. He built a relationship. He took his time. He was not willing to rush into something as sacred as a covenant just because the world was watching in question. Preachers of LA put that waiting on television, and suddenly, millions of people had opinions about a journey they had only seen a sliver of, about a relationship they had never been inside, about a timeline that was fundamentally none of their business. The speculation came, commentary came, the YouTube videos came, and Bishop Noel Jones kept waiting because he knew something the internet did not. God's timing is not YouTube's timeline. And in June 2022, after 28 years, Bishop Noel Jones and Loretta stood at an altar and made a covenant. Not because the internet finally approved, not because the speculation finally died down, not because it was convenient or strategic or good for his brand, because it was time. That is the story. That is a revelation nobody made a thumbnail about. Now let us talk about the woman at the center of this story, because First Lady Loretta Jones is not a rumor, she is not a headline, she is not a thumbnail. She is a woman who stood beside Bishop Noel Jones through 28 years of public scrutiny, through the reality television spotlight, through the speculation, through the clickbait, and never once lost her dignity. That takes a particular kind of strength, the kind that does not announce itself on social media, the kind that does not need validation from a YouTube comments section. She is his partner in ministry at City of Refuge, LA. She is actively involved in the life of the church, in Women's Appreciation Month celebrations, in weekly motivational messages, in the daily work of building a community of faith. She is not in the background of this story. She is the story. The woman who waited alongside a man who was willing to wait. The woman who became First Lady not through convenience or calculation, but through 28 years of faithfulness and the grace of God. That is First Lady Loretta Jones, and she deserves to be seen for exactly who she is. Not as the subject of a rumor, not as the answer to a clickbait question, as a woman of extraordinary grace, patience, and faith. Let us talk about Preachers of LA for a moment, because for many people, that Oxygen reality series is where they first encountered Bishop Noel Jones, and it shaped a perception that has followed him ever since. Here is what is important to understand about reality television. It does not show you reality. It shows you a version of reality, carefully selected, strategically edited, designed to create maximum drama and maximum engagement from a viewing audience. Bishop Noel Jones appeared on that show as one of the most prominent figures. His relationship with Loretta, his ministry, his personal journey, all became subject matter for a format that is not designed to present nuance or complexity or the full truth of a person. It is designed to entertain, and it entertained. Millions of people watched. Millions of people formed opinions. Millions of people started conversations about Bishop Jones that have never really stopped, even years after the show ended. Here's what the show could never show you. The 28 years of private faithfulness. The quiet patience of a man who was not willing to compromise something sacred just because a camera was on. Reality television showed you a moment. God has been writing a story, and the story, the real story, is far more beautiful than any episode of any show. Now, let us give you something practical. Because the clickbait machine targeting Bishop Noel Jones is not going anywhere, and the same tactics being used against him are being used against dozens of other faith leaders across this country. So here is how to spot misleading content. Before you click, warning sign number 1, the phrase finally confirms. If someone is finally confirming something, ask yourself, finally confirming to whom? Where is the interview? What is the source? Who is the journalist? What is the publication? If there is no answer to any of those questions, you are looking at clickbait. Warning sign number 2, what we all feared. This phrase is designed to activate anxiety, to make you feel like something terrible is about to be, to put you in a state of emotional readiness that bypasses your critical thinking. Real journalism does not try to scare you into clicking. Warning sign number 3, no specific date, no specific interview, no specific official source. If a video makes a dramatic claim about a public figure and cannot point you to a specific verified interview, official statement, or credible news outlet, the claim is not verified. Warning sign number AI-generated content using a pastor's image and voice. This is a growing problem across YouTube and Facebook. Videos that use artificial intelligence to put words in the mouths of real people. Videos that look and sound legitimate but are completely fabricated. If you want verified information about Bishop Noel Jones and First Lady Loretta, go directly to the official Bishop Noel Jones Ministries Facebook or the City of Refuge Church website. Those are the only sources you can fully trust. So what is actually happening with Bishop Noel Jones and First Lady Loretta in 2026? Let us give you the verified facts. As of early 2026, Bishop Noel Jones and First Lady Loretta Jones are active and thriving at City of Refuge, LA. They were recently seen together in ministry-related content, including Women's Appreciation Month 2025 celebration, where First Lady Loretta played an active and visible role in honoring the women of the congregation. They continue to release weekly motivational messages together, bringing their combined ministry to thousands of followers online and in person. There is no confirmed scandal. There is no shocking revelation. There is no silence that has been broken, because there was never a silence that needed breaking. There is simply a husband and a wife, a bishop and a first lady. A couple who waited 28 years for God's timing and are now walking together in the fullness of what that patience produced. That is the reality of Bishop Noel Jones and First Lady Loretta Jones in 2026. Not a headline, not a thumbnail, a life, a ministry. Covenant. Here is the lesson that Bishop Noel Jones and First Lady Loretta Jones teach us, whether they intended to or not. Some things are worth waiting for. In a culture that demands instant answers, instant content, instant gratification, Bishop Noel Jones waited 28 years to get something right. He was not being irresponsible. He was not being evasive. He was not giving the internet what it wanted. He was being faithful to something that mattered more than clicks or views or public. And in June 2022, when he and Loretta finally stood at that altar, it was not the end of a story that the internet had been impatient about. It was the culmination of a journey that God had been writing all along. There is a sermon in that. There is a life lesson in that. For every person watching this video who is waiting for something, who is trusting God with a timeline that does not match the world's expectation, who is being pressured to move faster than faith allows, Bishop Noel Jones waited 28 years. God's answer was worth every single one of them. So the next time you see a headline that says Bishop Noel Jones' wife finally breaks her silence, stop. Ask the question. Where is the interview? Who is the source? What is the verified fact? And then, instead of clicking on the clickbait, come back to the real story. The story of a 76-year-old Jamaican-born preacher who built one of the most powerful ministries in Los Angeles, who waited 28 years to honor a covenant the right way, who married his first lady in June 2022. Not because the internet approved, but because God said it was time. The story of First Lady Loretta Jones, who stood beside him through all of it, who is now his partner in ministry, his companion in life, and his covenant partner before God. That story does not need a shocking headline. That story does not need a dramatic thumbnail. That story told honestly is more powerful than anything a clickbait video could ever manufacture. Bishop Noel Jones, First Lady Loretta Jones, City of Refuge, LA, still standing, still ministering, still together, and the whole church, the real church, says amen.